name is Joe Fedorowicz. I'm the Director of Systems Integration here at Harmon Media. I've been here for almost 13 years, and in that time I've worked with the IT staff, I've worked with the reporting and analytics team, and recently I've worked as a programmer on our development team. A lot of my work recently, the last few weeks, has been with integrating generative AIs into our internal systems. So with that said, we're going to talk about a couple different AI models right now. All right, cool. Connor spoke at length about how large language models work. These include, like previously mentioned, ChatGPT from OpenAI. And then there's Claude, which is from a company called Anthropic. Bard is from Google, and Llama is from Meta. These all work the same way under the covers, but how they're deployed is a little different. ChatGPT and Claude, they do mostly a prompt, and then they'll give you a response to your prompt, is what most people are familiar with. Google with Bard has integrated that to take your search results and give you a response that they think you're looking for. They try to answer your question without you having to do it yourself. And Llama from Meta is not fully deployed yet, but they are doing the prompt thing similar to GPT, but they are also ingesting your social timelines and are giving you responses based upon that information. So that is coming soon, and we're watching that as that gets more and more rolled out. Like Connor also mentioned, there are other things other than text. There's images, which similar to LLMs will give you pixel by pixel. So you say, I want you to generate a landscape with a tree on top of a hill in the style of Pixar. It will do its best to do that, and it is fascinating what these models can do. People are generating scores of images that look like they were drawn by an artist or created by a digital artist. That does come with some concerns. Recently, the technology has come a little under fire as the models for this are trained using real images, and people are now with a 10-word prompt able to create realistic images just like that. Additionally, there are audio models and video models that are trained on sound waves from millions of songs, or on videos from all the videos that can be fed into it. And they can create a solo that sounds like an Eric Clapton guitar solo or a Michael Bay action sequence. And again, these are more complex than the large language models because they are generating images, frames, millions of frames to create videos. But we're still slowly and not so slowly getting to a place where whole songs are being created. Recently, someone did a song by the Drake and Weeknd, and they said make it like these guys collaborated, and it made a song that made it onto Billboard charts, which is like a whole new world. All right, now there are a few different business models that work with these things. Sometimes, like in the GPT, they will give you a premium offering to use their service in a better way. They have a free offering, which we're going to look at shortly, but also a premium offering. Google and Llama, they are going to offer you their services for free in that they are selling you advertisements with them to do that. There is also another offering, which is access to the programming APIs, which is what companies like ours will use to integrate this functionality into our internal systems and create things that, I'm going to go over some of them, but create some things that allow our employees to work better, work more efficiently, and so on. All right, and with that said, let's hop into a quick demo. Hopefully my share works. All right, so you should see a ChatGPT window. And up on top, you will see both the 3.5 model and the 4 model. Now, these are the two models that they currently offer to use in their UI. And the 3.5 model, which is what we're going to be demoing today, that is their free model. That is the model that most people use. GPT-4 is a premium model that costs $20 a month. And the differences between these are very subtle, but it essentially comes down to 4 is much more powerful than 3.5. 3.5, you are limited to how much the response works. It will only return 4,000 word responses or about there. So it's not going to write a doctoral thesis for you. But GPT-4 can return 25,000 words. So it might write most of a doctoral thesis for you. So that is, pretty neat, and that is why that is hidden under a premium thing. GPT 3.5 also does what's called hallucinations. I think we'll cover that a little later. They offer hallucinations are basically when it makes something up. that is not based in reality. GPT-4 does less of that, still does it occasionally, but we'll do less of that. GPT-4 is basically just stronger, is what it comes down to. And as technology gets better and faster and more inexpensive, GPT 3.5 will go away, and GPT-4 will become the normal, and there will be a 4.5. At least that is their plan. All right, so let's hop into a quick demo. So I am going to do something very simple, and I'm going to say I'm going to help or write me an email that I can send to my mom for Susan for her 65th birthday. Now, moms famously love emails from their sons on their birthday, and you will see that GPT returns, a nice email written by the world's best son, and it does a good job of understanding the prompt and then giving you an email that you could send. And now this is a silly thing to look at, but it returns a very nicely written email and gives a space for your name and so forth. Now where this gets interesting is where you can do things that are a little bit more creative with this. So to have a little bit of fun, I could say, now do it in the style of a pirate. I'll fix my and you will see, just like that, same email, same concept, but now I'm a pirate sending an email to my mom, like a pirate would send an email to their mom. So again, funny, fun, but just like that, it can create that email in that style without, it took seconds, just like that. So you'll see that right there. People are using this creative kind of sense that it has to create, like the kind of said, Bob Dylan songs, or write poems or do any number of things. And it will 99.9% of the time return something that is, useful, and it might not be good, but it does follow the prompt and give a response that is close to what you are looking for. But how does this work? We're a company, we run a business. How does this work for business? Well, you can also do business-like things here. Like you might want to say, if you are an Excel user but do not, aren't very good at formulas, you could say, write me an Excel formula to combine 7 columns with spaces in between. And you'll see GPT will return back the Excel formula that you're looking for, just like that. And it gives you the very basics. It guesses what your cells would be, and it explains how it works, just like that. The more specific that you get, where you say, now do it for A2, B4, C5, D6, E7. What is that? R7, R8. And it should give me the same thing, but more specific. So again, the prompt that you give in, to GPT, it will give you back a more specific prompt. It will guess and give you the first one, which is A to G, or if you tell it, hey, use these cells, it will give you those cells instead. So pretty neat there. All right, how are we using this, in a data team, in a data format? We have recently had people start writing SQL queries using ChatGPT. And a SQL query is the code used to get data out of a database table or multiple tables in a data format that we can use in certain tools. So if I were to say, write a SQL query joining 2 tables on campaign ID. Now, campaign ID is often a joining mechanism. You'll see that it will give me a very simple block of code right there that can be, altered probably, but can be ingested. If campaigns and results existed as tables, that would work and run just like that. But since we, work with this data every day and have a better idea of, what the columns are in it and how they join together, we actually have the ability to write, give it more information to create a better query. So I'm going to actually copy this one in there. And you'll see this says, write me a SQL query that joins 3 tables. It explains the tables and all the columns in it, and then make it so that I only get data down here. Make it so that I only get data from campaigns starting between March and October, and where the client ID is 842. If I hit this, you'll see it will make me a pretty cool little code here. It's actually a little different than the one I got last time, but it should still work. And you'll see, get all of the columns from all of those tables, join them on these things, and then where the client ID is what I said and is between those dates. So again, it is, pretty simple, but if you do not know how to do this kind of things, but you know the information with them, you can get that information, you can get it in a way that works back. All right, I just popped open a Tableau window. Tableau is our data visualization tool that we use to do all of our reporting and data, a lot of our data analysis here. So I actually plopped that query right in here. And with that, I was able to create this graph. That was a real query to our real tables, and it created this graph just like this. And very simple, but shows you the power of being able to just say, hey, I need a thing. Can you please get it back to me like this? So that's how we've been using it in our data services and accessing our database tables. All right, so that was all using GPT 3.5, and like I said, 3.5 is powerful enough to do most things, and we don't need to use GPT-4, which is a paid service. Another paid service offered by OpenAI is access to their programming APIs, which allows us to integrate functionality similar to this in our internal systems. So I'm going to pop over to this one. This is Harmony. Harmony is our in-house development environment, and it serves as a home base for many of our internal systems. And one of those systems is Blueprint, which is our media planning and buying project management solution. So I'm actually going to click here, and I'm going to click client. I'm going to click this client. My Computer Repair Store. It's a very high spending client. And you will notice that there is a daily briefing button right here. That daily briefing button, I don't know if some of you are familiar with Alexa's daily briefing concept, which will give you a personalized rundown of news that you might be interested in. This works in a similar way, but it should be, creating all of the campaigns for this specific client that are running, will be running soon, or have just finished. So I'm actually going to click this button, and it's going to start loading. While that loads a little bit, I'm actually going to plop open and show you this little snippet of code. Now this is nerdy, it is code, but you see this is the request that's actually happening right now. All of the juice, all of the special sauce comes in this request content variable right here. Creating this and then sending this to them will yield a response that will be up shortly. I'm actually going to pop it open on this tab. And you'll see we get this little snippet here of a snippet, all of the active campaigns, the recently ended campaigns, and the ones that are starting soon, and then a little, closing paragraph right down at the bottom. So this is one of the ways that we're investigating, helping our employees by giving them functionality and features that will help them do your job better or have more information readily available at their fingertips. And it's pretty exciting stuff that we're hoping to expand further in the coming weeks and months.